Yeah, that's what it was. It's a big win for us, big win for this program. Obviously, something we haven't done in a long, long time, since 2003, going down there and winning. Just very, very excited. Like I talked about after the game, very, very excited about the grittiness that I thought the team showed, the toughness that I thought the team showed, the competitiveness. And just there's so many things that went on in that week of preparation leading up to that game. During the game, we had people that were absent. We had freshmen that were having to play in starting roles and things like that. And just when you combine all of that stuff and you look at it and you're able to come out of that game with a win, especially in that fashion, with kind of just an ugly, gritty, tough, hard-nosed football game win, it makes you very, very proud, and obviously gives the boys, I think, a lot of confidence moving forward in our conference schedule.
You talked about freshmen having to play. It's one thing they have to play, but also to perform the way they did and make big plays for you.
Yeah.
I mean, without those plays, you may not win.
Yeah, no, you start on the defensive side of the ball. Don Parker, local kid out of Hoptown over there. I mean, he is he's had a tremendous year. Just a really, really smart football player. And when he grows a little bit, gets stronger, I mean, he's going to be a really, really good player. Very, very excited about him. Just a very headsy player. And then on the offensive side of the ball, I joked the big pass that we had, we fumbled at the one and recovered in the end zone. If you freeze frame it when we recover it and they call it a touchdown, the three people that you see on the offensive side of the ball are three true freshmen. Austin Thomas was the one who caught it, made a big time run, and then he gets stripped down there on the 1 yard line, fumbles into the end zone, and the guy who recovers it is Daquan Dallas. He recovers it. He's a true freshman, and the guy coming over to help and then winds up celebrating is Rodney Castile, who's a true freshman. And so it's kind of a neat picture when you see that. And then the one that I don't think gets enough credit, and I probably haven't said enough about, was we were without Cam Carter at right tackle. So we moved Chris White out to right tackle. He did a phenomenal job, which he's played there before, so we knew that he was going to be good. Obviously, we didn't want to have to do that in this type of game, but the one who came in was old Jacob Vance, local guy, out of Kentucky, and came in and played right guard for us and started right guard and had a phenomenal game. And so now we're going to try to figure out ways to get him on the field and continue doing some things for him, because he showed that he can play at a very high level. And just when you couple all of that and you see those guys out there making plays, and we've got other ones now. We got some guys on special teams who are taking legitimate roles and legitimate snaps, and just very, very proud to see those guys do that, and very encouraging for the future, to see these guys in their first years go out there and perform at that level.
What are the chances of seeing D-Wade this Saturday?
Very good. I think really good. I don't think there'll be any problems. He'll be limited reps during the week, things like that. We'll take some banging off of him and those type things, but I think he'll be just fine.
What about Jordan Gandy? What is his?
I think he's fine. He's already up on his toes. It's not high ankle. That was kind of the biggest thing, is it doesn't have that high ankle component. So it's a little more muscular, to be honest with you. So he's another one where first couple of days of practice he may not be out there. He may be in the training room and just getting treated as much as possible. But he can get up on his toes and walk around. So I think we'll be fine there too.
Rodney Castile had 4 catches, 92 yards. Really got that first drive going before
Yeah.
able to come away with any points. What is it like to see a wide receiver like him, who had such a good fall camp, come in and lead your team on offense?
That dude's fearless. Now. I mean, it doesn't matter whether we were playing Louisville or we were playing UTMA. That dude's fearless. To be as young as he is, and to go out there and make some of the plays that he did. Not only does he make those type of plays, those big catches and over the middle where he's jumping and he expects himself to do that. Like that is his standard. He's got to go out there and make those catches. He's the ultimate practice player. He is a competitor. I'm telling you, he reminds me a lot of Walter Powell, with the way that he prepares for games and the way that he goes about his business throughout the week. If he can get another rep, he's going to snag another rep. If he can get another catch, he's going to snag another catch. And he has that same confidence that Powell had about himself when he was out there playing. It didn't matter, if we were playing Florida State or whoever, he thought he was the best one on the field. And Rodney kind of has that same swagger about him. So, it's something that we're going to look to build on with him.
Looking at the 2 deep, at least in the wide receiver area, you have one upperclassman in your 2 deep. What is that like? It just seems the future for the wide receiver core. I know last year it seemed like there wasn't a true number 1, and then Jordan stepped up.
Yeah.
And now you've got Jordan. Now you have just a load of receivers. How's it like having that wide receiver?
Yeah, well, it's a work in progress. It's a development. We're trying to develop these guys, and it's been a little slow at times. And then you couple that with Schuler being the guy for a couple weeks, and then getting banged up shoulder, and then you switch a quarterback, and your rhythm and your flow that you had kind of gets disrupted, and you really didn't have a big time rhythm coming out of fall camp because we had so many guys there for a little while that we were trying to get reps at quarterback, throwing to those receivers. So, it's still a work in progress, but it is very encouraging when you look. I mean, like I said, when you freeze frame that big time play against UT Martin, and you realize that Jordan Gandy's not in the picture. LJ Gainey's not in the picture. Even guys like Jonathan Moss and Rajay Perkins and Tyree Gray and some of these guys who feel like vets just because they were freshmen last year and now they're sophomores and they feel like the old hags in the room. Those guys aren't even in the picture. There's 3 true freshmen in probably one of the biggest plays other than the fumble and the fumble recovery by Lamont Crittenden, but one of the biggest plays in the biggest game in a long time around here. And you look on the screen, and there's 3 freshmen in it. Obviously, that kind of gives you a little ray of sunshine, man. You kind of smile and go, man, these guys, we did pretty good recruiting these guys. And again, that's not to take anything away from the other big plays that we had. It's just I thought that was kind of a tremendous picture when you're looking at it and you're going, look how young these guys, they don't even have hair on their chin, and they're out there making these big-time plays. And so very, very excited for those guys.
Tell us about Eastern Illinois, an extremely resilient team.
Yeah.
4 wins by 2, 3, 3, and 1 point. If it's a close game, they seem to be a team that finds a way to win.
Yeah, as well as I do, they're going to be top-notch prepared, top-notch coach. Kim Dameron does a tremendous job over there. And I tell you, the thing about them is they're kind of sneaky. You don't hear much about them. Like I haven't heard much about them. I knew they were playing good ball, and all of a sudden I look up and they're undefeated in the conference. And they're going, and you're kind of going, man, here they are again. I mean, they do it every year, and it seems like they're always up there in the top. And it's just a really talented bunch. Obviously at the quarterback spot, they've got a big quarterback that can do some things, and defensively very sound. That's Dameron's baby. He's a defensive guy. They're always very sound, very, very physical. They got big linebackers that can come downhill. So, like always, we will have our work cut out for us against this crew. A very, very good football team.
They run 2 quarterbacks. I knew that they'd be switching back and forth between, Scotty and Bud. What do each of them present to your defense? Their
own specific problems. I mean, anytime that you're running 2 guys out there, usually they have 2 different things that they do very well, and you got to be careful because you don't want to go into a game and have 2 different game plans for each and overload your kids with things that they have to know. And hey, man, if this dude's in, then we're thinking more of this, or if this dude's in, then we're thinking that. They're just you have to have specific plans for each one of them, but at the same time, you don't want to overload your kids and have them worried about who's in and who's not in and those type things. So, I mean, at the end of the day, right now, defensively, I think that those guys have done a tremendous job of doing what we do defensively, figuring out the right formula for our personnel, and trying to create turnovers. And if we continue to do that, then we'll continue to give ourselves a chance, especially if we can continue the progress offensively and start making some plays offensively and converting some third downs and putting some points on the board. If you can do those things, if you can score and you can take opportunities away from them in scoring, then you got a good chance.
Schuler looked like 100%, but that's just me, as an observer. He looked like he was able to step into some throws, really get some things downfield. The interception was a thread down the seam that he almost hit.
Yeah.
Is he 100% going in?
Yeah, he's good to go. Other than normal football bumps and bruises and all that, but the shoulder and all of that kind of stuff, he's good to go. Again, we probably could have used him against Louisville. We just didn't want to. We wanted to make sure that thing healed up really nice, and really didn't need to. That Corey was doing fine. He was doing fine, so he's 100%. He's back throwing it around, and like I said, we're going to continue to put Corey out there on the field in different places, whether it be back there in the backfield, at quarterback, whether it be out wide. We're just going to try to find places for him to get on the field.
How do you get Nolan Nichols more carries when we've got guys like Rico and DJ that are good pass catchers and also create?
Just get him more carries. We got to put him in. The thing about it is Nolan knows who he is. He knows who he is. He's not a 60-yard back. He's not a 50-yard or 40-yard back. If he gets loose, he's got 30 in him at best, and then somebody's going to come catch him. But what he does do is he falls forward. I mean, every snap that he took the other night, he was falling forward. There was not one play where he was not backwards. And if we can get those types of runs and we can find those extra yards and those hidden yards in our run game, then that will open up things that you can do from a passing standpoint. That'll open up your run game a little bit more. And I made the joke. The thing about him is the other two with DJ and Rico, what you have to watch is a lot of times they're like with DJ, he's so fast and he's so young. A lot of times he gets ahead of his blocks. He doesn't realize what's in front of him, and he'll get outside of the runs. And in Rico, he's just so long-legged and so fast back there. A lot of times he has no choice but to be in front of his blocks because it's just his big old long legs takes him there. Nolan's just slow enough. He's just slow enough to where it always seems like those blocks are occurring in front of him, so it's a little bit easier read. And then he's got just enough pop about him to stick the toe in the ground and get north. And then once he gets north, he's a 200-pound kid that looks like he eats weights for breakfast. And, he looks like a mannequin at Dick's Sporting Goods when he takes his shirt off. And he's not very tall, so he runs with great leverage. And he can fall forward. And it's not flashy. Sometimes it looks like more of like fullback. But right now, that's okay. If he can hit a hole and he can get us 4 yards, if you put that back to back to back, you got a first down, and we'll take that every day of the week.
I want to ask you one question.
Yep.
This is Vicente.
Yeah.
We kind of left him out there, but Coach Specialist of the week again, and just big kicks for you in Cleveland.
Hey, and I'm glad you said that. So you got Gabe, who everybody knows Gabe's story, just tremendous story, and what a cool kid too. Now, I mean, because I've told you before, like before the games, usually you go up to your kicker and you say, hey, going towards the scoreboard, kicking towards the scoreboard, where do you like it? How far do you feel? Going away from the scoreboard, how far? The problem with him is you ask him, Coach, anywhere, it doesn't matter, just put it down anywhere, I'm good. Like, okay, so you normally go to the holder. Like I'd go to Stratton and go, hey man, he won't give me a real answer. Like, where do we need to get to offensively? And Stratton will tell me. And but you love that about him because he's got that confidence. That's the only reason why he was able to come back and kick those 2 kicks that he kicked, was because the first one, I put him in a bad situation. It was a 40-something yard field goal that I put him in with the wind against him, and it's raining. And he has enough leg, he just pushed it to the right. And the dude, he's so confident in himself, like it did not faze him whatsoever. He was mad at himself now because he knew, like I was kind of thinking, okay, I'm good, because that was kind of on that fringe of trying it anyway. Part of me was going, hey, do we just take a delay a game and punt it, pin him down there? And I was going, well, the dude's been so good, let's try to get one. And obviously you don't tell him that. Well, he goes to the sideline. He's kind of mad at himself. But then the next time he has to go out there and kick, it's like he didn't even remember it. Then all of a sudden he has to kick the game winner. and nothing to it. It's just that's what he's supposed. In his mind, that's what he's supposed to do. He's not supposed to miss. And because I remember when we first got here, I told him, I said, listen, this game's very easy. I said, look at those goalposts. And he said, yeah, I see them. I said, you see how wide they are? He said, yes, sir. I said, now look at this ball. He said, okay. I said, you see how small this is? He goes, yeah. And I said, you just got to put this little bitty ball in between those two big uprights, and you're good. I said, can you handle that? He goes, oh, yeah, simple. I said, okay. So he's got that type of confidence about him. Now, the other part of that, though, is Stratton goes down on the punt return. He goes down. Well, Cam Burse is our backup holder. Cam Burse and Gabe Vicente don't usually get a ton of reps together during our PAT periods of practice and those type things because Stratton and Gabe are getting it. Well, then you combine that with all of a sudden now it's a downpour, and Cam Burse is also another one that goes out there, doesn't flinch, holds it, because that's big. I've done that before, and that is about as freaky a feeling as you can have, knowing that you're the guy who has to get that ball from the snapper down into a perfect spot for that kick, and all the while it's raining. That's a really freaky feeling. And for him to go in there and do that, man, it was a cool story. I mean, it was really cool to see those guys. And you know, Cam Burse, he's funny because he was out there celebrating. You would have thought he threw the winning touchdown. I mean, he's out there celebrating with the boys, and it was cool. It was a good team. It was a really good team feeling and good team win.
Stratton, okay?
Yeah, he will be. I mean, he'll be fine. He got welcomed to football. You know, kickers, they don't like being touched and hit and all that. So he got himself hit a little bit, and it didn't feel good. He got his bell rung, but he'll be fine. You know, just tomorrow's kind of D-Day. So Tuesday, if they don't clear all their protocols and all of that, then you have no shot for Saturday. So we'll see how it shows up tomorrow. No, I don't. Well, I think that I could tell him that, but I think he wouldn't be tweeting it now. I don't think he wants any part of that anymore. It was cool that first time, you know, he flicked it out there and got a touchdown and didn't get any hits. But now that he's felt contact and like what real football's about, I don't know if he wants any part of that life anymore.